squatters, back with another one. It's very concerning, I'm a bit sad to have this episode, but I hate to sound controversial. At the same time, I hate to take sides or to be seen to be taking sides. But now we are sitting here with a problem here in our country. As far as we know, there's illegal immigrants in South Africa, and they are here, they have families, they have kids. Now, the problem starts when our government has actually allowed the kids of illegal immigrants to have access to education. I want to understand something here. As much as us South Africans, we claim that no, our kids should be prioritized and all of that. Yeah, well, we understand that. But I have a feeling, Oguti, it's not like we prioritize our kids to have access to education. Now, the problem here is that we don't want the kids of illegal immigrants to have access to education in our country. I think South Africans, not all of them, but some of them, they feel a little bit uncomfortable for illegal immigrant kids to have access to our own education system. Now, the question that it begs is that if these kids, who are kids that were born by nature of illegal immigrants, right, do not have access to education, right, and they grow up in our country because eventually they are here to stay. The fact of the matter is that they are here to stay, they are going nowhere, and then it is not the fault of us as citizens. It's not our fault, but it's our government's fault to fail to manage this whole thing of illegal immigration and all of that. And now as citizens, if we say their kids should not access education, are we not planting a ticking time bomb? Because these kids will be illiterate, they won't have access to education. At the end of the day, they will become criminals. Because if you don't have education, you don't have access to anything, you don't have a proper documentation, you will resort to crime. And they will become criminals and steal from us. Either way. So, how I feel about this whole issue, it's so sad that politicians actually put us in this situation. As citizens, we now start to be seen to be people who hate other people and all of that. But as South Africans, I think we need to be tolerant. We need to understand their situations, because as much as these people came here illegally in our country, like I always say, there's always circumstances which are pushing them to come here, and they will not leave. And what do we do now because they are already here? I mean, the issue of Stilfontein, where Zimbabweans and Mozambicans and Lesotho nationals who were extracted from that home, the what do you call that? Trench 11 or something. I don't know how do they call those homes, where they had to now identify those people, work on repatriation for those people and all of that. Those are the reality issues that we are facing as a country. So in my own view, kids who are born of illegal immigrants by nature, they have to have access to education, whether we like it or not. Equally so, because if we let them to continue not having access to education, it's a ticking time bomb again. I mean, it's so sad because as a child, you don't choose your parents. I believe if those kids could choose parents, they would have chosen citizen parents. You get what I'm saying? but now they were unfortunately born of illegal immigrants. But now, because they are in a country, in South Africa, it's the same issue as in Messina. You remember Poppy, when she got in trouble by shouting at Zimbabweans who are crossing the borders to access health facility, proper health facilities in Limpopo, because in Zimbabwe there are no proper health facilities. The health department has collapsed and all of that. Those are the real issues that we are facing, and if we don't handle them properly, we might find ourselves in a situation whereby we are seen to be people who hate other African people, referring to especially, I don't know, Mozambicans, Zimbabweans, and also people who are coming from other, or maybe on the far north or some. As long as they are already here, there's not much we can do. That's the reality. And this might sound a little bit crazy, but the reality is that they are here. And it's the same thing as having illegal immigrants who are here, who don't have passports, who don't have IDs. In my own take, I think the government, because we don't have a database, we don't know them, they are ghosts, and crime continues to happen. Some of them, they commit crimes. Some of them, they are making an honest living, they are not criminals, and they just want to make a living. That's the purpose of that's their main intention. So if we look at them as criminals, because we also have criminals who are committing crimes, citizens, I'm referring to who are committing heinous crimes. We've got a gentleman who did some few interviews, Sylvester Mfuke. He's a citizen, but he was a criminal, but he's no longer a criminal. He's out now. He's done that. He has repented. Everything, that's fine. But he was a criminal. So we do have citizens who are criminals. We do have immigrants who are criminals. In every country, it happens equally so. So these kids, they have to have access to education. I also have a feeling that South Africa, we have some sense of entitlement and competition, which our kids should do better than their kids. Why do we compete as brothers and sisters? These are the innocent kids. Let them have equal access to education, the same as our kids. Uguti, this one gets distinctions more than this one. Let's do away with that kind of a competition. If you can check, when Bafana is playing with Nigeria, you won't go to Joburg there, because if Nigeria wins, they will make noise, those guys there, Nigerian guys. And if South Africa wins, we always make noise, like we have some sort of competition. Why do we compete amongst each other? Because we are one. At the end of the day, we are one. So I don't think it's really appropriate for us to say, no, our kids first. And I don't think the government can fail to accommodate. I've never heard, even in a single year, that the government, the South African government, failed to accommodate South African kids because they took foreign kids into the education system. I don't remember that. Maybe someone can remember, or maybe can tell us something. We don't have that case, because at the end of the day, the government has got the responsibility to accommodate all the kids. Even when the online system is failing, it's taking kids to very far schools which are very far and all of that. At the end of the day, all the kids have to have access to education. Education is the key to success. Education is very important, because even though you don't really get what you want, but it builds your psychology, it builds your IQ, it opens up certain muscles in your head that now you can start thinking appropriately, you can see things differently, and you also stand better opportunities when it comes to employment or maybe running a business or something. At least you've got some sort of a background and knowledge which can help you to. So for them not to access education, say, let's say for instance, for argument's sake, South African kids, they get access, they get to be registered and all of that. They are now done, they are registered. And now we're remaining with 10 illegal immigrants, kids who don't have access to. Are we really going to keep quiet and say, these ones are illegal immigrants, even if they don't get education, it's fine? No. We need to confront the government and say, why are we having these kids on the streets during the school hours? The government has to explain that, no, we can't accommodate. No, make a plan. Get temporary classes so these kids, because we are just switching them away from the criminality into becoming better people in a foreign country. I think it makes a lot of sense, because if we let them out there, we are actually manufacturing criminals, because they are going to be career criminals and they are still going to commit crimes. We are going to be the victims because of the situation that we have created. I think all the kids, whether you are illegal immigrants or your parents are coming from wherever, education, you are a child, man. You don't choose parents. You don't choose where you come from. I mean, you are born in that situation. It's like when you are born poor, you don't choose to be born poor. No, you happen to be unfortunate where you are born in a poor family. So I think that makes a lot of sense. I'm trying to crack my head, but this is what I get. This is all I get from my head. That really, it makes sense that all the kids must just be accommodated. Let's stop this thing of, no, accommodate these ones first. We'll accommodate. It means now all the South African kids must register, all of them. Then now we say, hey, we are registering illegal immigrants. No, register all of them. They must all be accommodated. I don't know, squatters. That's my only view. That's my take. Because after seeing the interview by Patriotic Alliance and Action SA, those two political parties, I think those are the ones which has got issues with the system of our education when it comes to accommodating, accepting learners. They must just accept all the learners. As long as they are learners, they are entitled to get or to access education. That's it. I don't know. I'll hear from you, squatters. Thank you.